Hello, everyone. Welcome to Elections Predictions and Analysis. And with the next Democratic presidential debate coming up this week, candidates get another chance to either reverse or build off their previous performances. Today, let's discuss the 10 candidates debating on Tuesday, July 30th, the first debate, both where they currently stand and how I believe they should and will attack this debate. First, Elizebeth Warren. At the first debate, Warren mostly stayed out of any head-to-head arguments, instead focusing on communicating an economically focused progressive message to the audience. This made sense for a candidate who needed to try to sustain the momentum she brought into the debate, but now on the same stage as Sanders, she will begin to make a pitch to the voters about how they are different and why she is better. Warren started out the first debate strong but began to lose steam as she failed to diversify her message in any way. Odds are she does not make that a focus for her second debate, but does try to begin taking voters from the struggling Sanders campaign. Speaking of Bernie Sanders, he did not have a very strong first debate, repeating his message about having guts to a generally unimpressed viewership. Sanders lost many of his supporters to Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, and he needs to rebound in this debate to generate some of the similar buzz that Bernie supporters have not felt since Michigan 2016. In 2016, Hillary was a perfect matchup for Bernie because she perfectly portrayed the moderate career political establishment, but with many other fresh or liberal options in 2020, Sanders will have to come out with a new message to convince voters that he specifically still has something to offer. He has the perfect opportunity face to face with Warren, so be ready for him to not shy away from conflict either this time. Next, Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg had a quietly successful first debate, as he gave strong answers to any question put his way while staying out of the fray between Biden and Harris. Buttigieg lost many supporters to Harris, as he's clearly the less experienced candidate, but one could argue this election cycle has already been a success for Buttigieg, barring a massive scandal or total disaster. He has elevated himself to the top of the discussion about the future of the Democratic Party, so expect a similar passive approach from Buttigieg in this debate, who will work to give compelling and detailed answers to his own question, but try to solidify his approval ratings and a spot on a vice presidential shortlist while working to avoid making enemies among other candidates. However, so he does not go the way of Beto, he will also need to give more economic policy specifics, which voters want and he needs to give. Speaking of Beto O'Rourke, Beto has been by far the least impressive candidate since January. His mere 3-point loss to Ted Cruz in Ruby Red, Texas is a legitimate accomplishment, as is his fundraising, but Beto has kept his same persuasive message, but lacks the experience and detail to have any success at this point. Fumbling to avoid a 70% corporate tax question and completely losing an exchange on immigration with Castro, O'Rourke had a worst-case first debate, and he lost any momentum he had whatsoever beforehand. Luckily, 1 bad debate out of 12 can't derail a campaign, and Beto has an opportunity to quickly redeem itself at the second debate by giving detailed and knowledgeable answers to questions. Amy Klobuchar. If not for Beto, we would be discussing Klobuchar as the main disappointment of the first debate. Klobuchar is an established senator who has shown she can win in deeply Trump-friendly areas, but yet didn't manage to bring to light her strengths of electability and her fiscal accountability. Impressive along with Kamala Harris in the Kavanaugh hearings, Klobuchar failed to gather any momentum whatsoever in the first debate. She's in a perfect situation in the second debate, however. Paired with progressive favorites Warren and Sanders, Klobuchar has a chance to try to stag more moderate voters skeptical about Biden's age or his propensity to gaffes. Expect an aggressive performance from Klobuchar. The rest of the field, composed of John Delaney, John Hickenlooper, Tim Ryan, Steve Bullock, and Marianne Williamson. Although none of the other mentioned members of the field are likely to catch fire as a candidate and join the top 10, Hickenlooper and Bullock will focus on making an argument for electability. Bullock is a 2-time state winner in Montana, and he will also preach fiscal accountability, drawing a contrast with the left. Political insiders expect Bullock, the term-limited governor of Montana, to suspend his campaign soon, as Democratic leaders want him to run for the Montana Senate seat up for election in 2020, where he would be the best Democratic candidate by far. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow to discuss the July 31st Democratic debate.